know that
weightlifting's paying off.
with the core and the deadlift, he was second strongest warrior last year.
But he didn't have the build like that.
That was one of the more unusual tips I've seen.
Almost went in.
It's jump ball.
Another Wednesday.
Yeah,
How you feeling, man?
I'm good. It's nice weather out. Almost spring break.
I can't wait, even though I'm, staying in the room. I don't have the budget to go out this year, but
Everybody needs a break,
yeah.
and it just comes at a good time. But let's go ahead and get into it. Start with Cleveland. It's my favorite team. They're kind of limping right now. Got several people out with injuries. Do you think that they can still contend for the Eastern Conference Championship?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. It comes every season. It comes a point where a team deals with injuries, but the Cavs are known for bouncing back through the playoffs and contending for a championship every year. So I don't have any doubts about them pursuing or contending for a championship.
The best thing Ty Lue did last night was bench JR, which, it can either go one or two ways. He can either pout and start playing even worse than he has been, or it's going to give him motivation to get those minutes back, and get his spot back. Because, he wants to be a starter, but his play just isn't matching the level that starters should be at this point. But I still think, until the Cavs get Kevin Love back, we can't even fully evaluate how good they can be.
Right.
Because right now they don't have that second scorer. Because LeBron can't do everything.
Yeah.
And he's going to need that second go-to scorer to get a bucket. And then you got to get the rotational guys, Rodney Hood, Jetty Osman, Tristan Thompson, all back together. But there's only 17 games left, so that's going to have to happen quick. But you still think they can contend?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Toronto looks really good. Boston, Kyrie has been hurt lately.
Yeah.
I would choose Cleveland over Boston. We talked about this before. But Toronto they look like the favorite right now.
Yeah.
They look like a complete team.
Because DeRozan has elevated his game to a whole nother level. Lowry as well. They have key pieces in Van Fleet, Ibaka, Podol. So Toronto's going to be scary in the East during the playoffs, and Cleveland better bring their A game because Toronto is here this year, and I don't think they're gonna be evaluated like they have in the past, choking in the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's an extra incentive for Cleveland to get towards that third seed, because if they're still at the 4 seed, they'll have to play Toronto in the second round, and I don't think they want to do that.
Right.
They need a whole another batch of games before they have to turn it up all the way to get that chemistry going and learn on the fly. Let's jump ahead to Indiana. So Indiana is at the 3 seed right now. That's really ridiculous. It really is, because I watched the other night. Oladipo went 7 for 23, and they still won by 13.
Who was this against?
I think this was against the Sixers. So that shows that they're more of a complete team than just the Oladipo show. Or
yeah, right.
Anything else. It's really surprising. I don't think they have a chance in the playoffs. And personally, I'd rather play Indiana than the Sixers, or
if you're
Miami.
Cleveland,
Yeah. Well, if you're anybody really.
Okay.
Would you rather play Miami or Indiana?
I'd rather play Indiana, to be honest, because Miami has lit a spark ever since Wade came back, and they were playing good even before Wade went there, and Dragic and Winslow and Whiteside and all of them. I think they're a more scarier team than Indiana and a bigger threat to a first round or early round loss in the playoffs.
Would you rather play the Bucks or Indiana?
Indiana.
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo, Bledsoe, Parker, Middleton, all those guys. They're long on the defensive end. They're fast on the fast break. They create plays. They're really scary on the defensive end and offensive end. So, I would not like to meet them in the playoffs.
Yeah, when you look at the Eastern Conference standings, there's only like 4 games separating the 3 through 8 seed, but I feel like there's more of a gap between the Pacers and the rest of all those teams that they're even ahead of. Maybe it's because of inexperience, or I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're not used to seeing Oladipo as the leader of a team. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the standings shake out, to see what matchups go into the rest of the playoffs.
Hey, but I wouldn't give up on the Wizards just yet.
They're going to get Wall back.
Yeah, they're still a solid team. Bill, Porter, they're all solid pieces. If you're sleeping on them, they might come at you for that first round or early round loss. So I wouldn't sleep on them as well.
They took the Celtics to 7 last year.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same team.
Right.
That's back. So if they can get it all going together, get Wall reincorporated, going into the playoffs, they're still a scary team, especially for whoever ends up being that 4 seed in that first round matchup.
Right.
But let's talk about your team. They've been beefing lately with a certain point guard, Jamal Murray, the Denver Nuggets.
I mean, that first encounter, I didn't think it was really personal. He was just, trying to draw attention or whatever, trying to, fool Alonzo or whatever, make fun of him. I think it was more of that than a personal issue, but you shouldn't do that because, in LA, they don't forget that type of stuff, and they gonna come at your head every chance they get. So, I mean...
Yeah. If you didn't see it, the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Lakers about a week or so ago, and no, this was a long time ago, wasn't it?
This was about a month ago. Yeah,
it's like a month ago, and Jamal Murray, Canadian. I think we need to put that in there because the Canadian. There's another Canadian that we're gonna talk about later, but he just didn't throw it around Lonzo at the end of the game. They didn't really like that. They took it as disrespect. I don't know if he wasn't being malicious with it or nothing like that. But then fast forward, this was like a week or so ago, right?
Almost a couple of days ago, I think.
The last matchup, not the one they played last night.
Oh, the one in Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nuggets,
that was about a week ago.
Yeah, the Nuggets won that game. And in that one, he started talking with Luke Walton, the coach of the Lakers. They got into it. And so at that point, all of LA, Lakers fans everywhere, decided that we hate Jamal Murray. And I just think it's funny that in 2018, Lakers fans are that's who their enemy is.
I mean, you can't be enemies with LeBron. You can't be enemies with Paul George or anybody because that's who you're trying to get.
That's true. That is very true. But last night, the Lakers went ahead and beat the Nuggets, Jamal Murray. Isaiah had a little something to do with it. He played well, and then at the end of the game, he threw the ball at Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
He passed it to him. I didn't think it was as serious as some people were trying to make it out to be.
It was a bounce pass. I
Yeah.
mean, feels like a hard chest pass, then that's understandable.
And he didn't have to catch it.
Yeah.
He could have just moved out the way.
Yeah.
It just would have kept going. And was a ref around there? Because it might have been a pass to a ref. I looked at it closer.
No, the ref started going over there after he passed Murray the ball.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I just wanted to bring this up because, you know, Lakers fans, that's the big story for Lakers fans right now. Let's get into the point guard rankings. Now, Damian Lillard has been on fire lately. The Trailblazers are in the 3 seed, which is also pretty remarkable, especially in the tough Western Conference. But how do you rank? Let's hear a top 5 point guards right now.
First of all, Lillard is definitely in my top 5 right now. He's playing on a whole nother level. I mean, I don't think he's getting anywhere the respect that he deserves because he's balling out. But what would you say?
We agree that Steph is the one, right?
That Steph is the one?
He's number 1 on the list.
Yeah.
2, this is where it gets tricky.
2, I'm going to have to say Lillard.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to because Westbrook is on and off. Kyrie is on and off.
Chris Paul,
I mean, I would actually put Chris Paul at the 3. At 3.
Over Westbrook?
For right now, yeah. Just because him and Harden, they just got off that 17-game win streak. Chris Paul has been balling out, even though Harden has been doing, incredible numbers, but Chris Paul is creating plays. Chris Paul is breaking people down off the dribble. So I'm going to have to go with Chris Paul at the 3 spot. What about you?
Honestly, I definitely agree that Lillard is number 2 in the number 2 spot right now. He's been averaging like 35, 30 plus. And, Russell Westbrook, he's been hurting his team in a way that I don't know how to explain. Like when he takes, there's an interesting stat, when he takes over 17 shots, they're like 11 and 24, something like that. But when he takes under 17 shots, they have a easily over 500 record. And I don't know, I just like how Lillard is playing and the wins that they're getting. But I think CP3, I would take him behind Russ just because he's that number 2 role. Okay. And if Russ was in that number 2 role like he was with KD, we might see a little bit different in like efficiency and what effect he has on the game. And then after that, I got Kyrie.
Yeah.
Because he's led Boston this whole season. This is what he wanted to do, and he's doing it. But John Wall, where would you put John Wall at?
I can't really tell you that because
he's been out.
He's been out majority of the year. But when he comes back, I'm pretty sure he's gonna elevate his game to what it used to be when he was playing, and put himself in the conversation of top 5 point guards in the league.
Yeah. Would you put Kyle Lowry anywhere in that conversation?
He's on the border for me, just because he does this every year. But when it comes to the playoffs, he disappears. But as far as this season, he's looked really good, and I would actually probably exchange Kyrie for Kyle Lowry.
Really?
So, yeah.
What is it that's turned you off from Kyrie lately?
It's not what turns me off from Kyrie. It's what Kyle Lowry is doing this year, creating plays for DeRozan. Hitting big shots.
The team success, is that?
Yeah, being consistent on a nightly basis. All those factors contribute to me picking Lowry. I'm not degrading Kyrie as much. I'm just praising Lowry in the way he's playing this season so far.
Yeah. I can, it's hard. It's tough to argue against what Kyle Lowry has been doing this season with all the wins. They might mess around and win 65 games.
Yeah.
But personally, I put Kyrie above there just because of, what he can do at any moment on the court. But I think we're going to take a break right here, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about that other Canadian I mentioned earlier. Andrew Wiggins, he's a little upset being in Minnesota right now.
Jump ball.
So Andrew Wiggins, believe it or not, with all the success that the Timberwolves have had this season, getting up there and when it's finally about to make the playoffs after struggling the last 2 years with just Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, the addition of Jimmy Butler has helped their success, So that makes Wiggins take a third seat when he was usually the 2. He thinks he needs a bigger role. How do you feel about that?
I mean,
especially with all the success.
If you want a bigger role, play like it. I mean, you're the one that went behind the scenes when Butler came into Minnesota, when he specifically said he wanted you to play the same way as well, and just wanted to merge both of your all three of your styles. You're the one that took a back seat when he came on the scene, and you're the one not to be found in clutch times when Cat is taking all the big shots. Yeah. So, my opinion, if you want a bigger role, play like it. That's as simple as that.
So, in the 7 games since Jimmy Butler got injured, Andrew Wiggins has upped his game, sort of, but the team is a minus 43 when he plays. Plus 21 when he sits.
Wiggins?
Yeah.
Wow.
Somehow, because this team isn't very deep. They've got like Jamal Crawford off the bench. And Bayalith, I can never pronounce his name correctly. Bayalicia is starting because of Jimmy Butler's injury. Mm-hmm. But like you said, that's pretty much gonna sum it up.
Yeah.
If you want a bigger role, just get one. Like,
right.
Jimmy Butler's out right now, so why don't you average 30?
Nobody's gonna give you your role.
You're in a perfect position right now.
Right.
To make a impact on the league. You're gonna be in the playoffs for the first time. Just do it.
Right.
And you're getting paid. You sign a $150 million extension. So what are you complaining about?
Right.
I don't get it. Let's go to the Bay. The Warriors have been limping lately. Clay, Steph, and Draymond are all out tonight versus the Lakers. I guess this is what 3 straight finals does to you.
No. It's what the Steph 30th birthday party did to him last night. I'm going to just be honest. They're all hungover. I seen them dancing on stage. They were singing Just My Imagination by the Temptations, rocking back and forth like they were at the Apollo or something. So they're tired. They just hung over from yesterday. They partied all night, and they just don't want to play tonight. That's the story.
So Clay just randomly gets out with a thumb injury. He didn't have nothing on in the videos when he was.
No.
No.
I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry. Clay has to be the worst dancer in NBA history. I don't know what he was trying to do yesterday on stage, but Mike Brown looked better than him dancing on stage.
Steve Kerr needs an award because with all those back surgeries and all the he was really smooth up there, and
Clay looked like he was.
Clay just looked like he was, 1-2 into a 3-point shot instead of dancing. He was real textbook.
I think he took a bigger L yesterday than when he tried to dunk in China.
Oh my goodness! If you're watching this on YouTube, you're gonna get that video on screen right now. But yeah, that Clay's just he doesn't care at this point.
He doesn't.
So I mean,
live your life. I would love to have the level of confidence he has. I'll tell you that. Though. I'll tell you that.
Do you think the Warriors should still be the favorites going into the postseason?
Of course. And them canceling practice yesterday, basically, in other words, to the Rockets, it was an indirect message. We don't care if you have the number 1 seed. We still are going to beat you in 6 games. That's basically the message. So
Steph showed up on a yacht to his own birthday party.
He was getting fed ribs on stage, and he had a full plate of ribs in his right hand getting fed. Like, wow, that's
yeah. If they don't perform, then we're gonna all point back to this.
Yep.
And be like, oh, well, this was your opportunity, especially because of the team they have Steph and KD on the same team. But yeah, I think Houston can beat them. I seriously do, but it pretty much depends on how good the Warriors starters play, because I think their bench is horrible. Livingston hasn't been the same.
Yeah.
Iguodala definitely hasn't been the same. Their best bench player right now is probably David West, and he can only give you so much.
Nick Young will give you a few
true.
good threes too.
He'll have some really good games and then some horrible games. But other than that, the guys that they used to depend on to come in there and make a huge impact, Sean Livingston was unstoppable in that. When he would get matched up with smaller guards, he just post them up and that's an automatic bucket.
Right.
Iguodala guarding the other team's best player, he can't really do that anymore. Where Houston has guys like PJ Tucker coming off the bench, they've got several pieces. Nene.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming in.
Joe Green.
Yeah.
All those are solid pieces you
Eric
want on
Gordon,
the bench. Right.
Depending on how their lineups are looking. They all, solid pieces off the bench, and they're gonna shoot lights out. It's gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've said this, the Warriors will probably sweep them, and we'll just be like, let's just cancel the league.
I don't know about a sweep. It depends on.
Iguodala will just return to form. He'd be like, I was just faking the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see if the Warriors can get. They still have they've won 50 games,
right?
And they've looked up and down all season.
You know something? The Rockets went on that 17-game win streak, and the Warriors are only a half game behind. That tells you how consistent the Warriors are and how they're not worried in my eyes about the Rockets.
The Rockets had a lot of catching up to do, and they just and the Warriors just were like,
all right,
okay. Last night, a former Laker, D'Angelo Russell, he had 24 in the first quarter.
He wasn't missing. I mean, I watched it. He was just on fire. I mean,
that was one of the most random. He hit like 7 threes in the first quarter. The most random performance I've ever seen. He only finished with 32. Yeah. But I don't know. I just thought I was gonna mention that because that was just crazy. Yeah. I thought he was like. I was like, hold on. Is he gonna get 100 points? Like,
no.
Is he gonna make 12 threes? 12 threes was in the ballpark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had to give a shout out to D'Angelo for making me think that he was going to score 100 there for a second.
Yeah, PSA from the LA community, we don't miss him. Just throwing that out there.
Well, you got Kuzma and you got rid of Mozgov, so I think it's.
Please don't mention Mozgov.
Hey, that's a champion. That's a champion. Even though he played no minutes, still a champion.
You're right.
You
Juwan Howard is a champion too.
That is true. But Juwan Howard was alright at one point. Mozgov, not so much. Let's talk about the Spurs.
I mean, honestly, if I'm Kawhi, I would want out.
You would want out of like San Antonio?
Yeah.
You just think they're not good?
If the Spurs don't get some type of talent or like contender on the roster in free agency this summer or next summer, I would want out.
Well, okay, so right now the Spurs are. Let's see, let's pull this up real quick. The Spurs are the 9th seed in the West. They're actually tied with the Clippers and the Jazz for the 7th seed, but it places them outside of the playoffs, tiebreakers and all that.
Yeah.
If you're Kawhi, you come back, like, this season, like in the next couple games?
Yeah. Well, will I come back?
Yeah, would you, like...
It depends.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, just to prevent from missing. I don't want to wait too late until we're out the playoffs and then come back, because we're out the playoffs. But I mean, it depends on certain factors, like how healthy am I? Am I comfortable with coming back? Will I be able to play like my old self once I come back and lead San Antonio to a playoff spot eventually?
So yeah, in the 96-97 season, David Robinson got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They won the lottery and got Tim Duncan, who got them 5 championships. So let's say the Spurs miss the playoffs, win the lottery, and then they get DeAndre Ayton or Luka Doncic, and
you think that's gonna happen? You think that can potentially happen?
I think they'll have low odds, but it's still possible. I think that if Kawhi comes back in the next couple weeks, if they have 10 games of Kawhi, they're gonna make the playoffs, and that's not somebody the Rockets or the Warriors want to see in the first round. Kawhi coming back, getting it together, like, you don't want to see Kawhi and the Spurs, because Popovich is always gonna get his players to play better than their talent level.
Yeah.
And if they're the 8th seed, if the odds were right, I would bet on the Spurs against the Rockets, because Popovich has been there before, and he owns Mike D'Antoni in the playoffs. Yeah. We've seen it before.
And it's not like the Spurs are like trash.
Yeah.
They just been losing games, so I would definitely take the Spurs if they're the 8th seed against the Rockets.
Yeah. Let's get into March Madness. I just mentioned the lottery. I haven't been following college basketball in terms of like teams lately. I don't know about you.
I haven't.
I've just been following, the guys who are potential lottery picks, some of the guys who are towards the bottom half of the first round, but that's pretty much it. So my opinions on college basketball are pretty much irrelevant. But it's March Madness. Everybody likes to think they know what happens, and then they're always wrong. But who?
I have a hot take.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is probably gonna get me beat up. I have a very hot take. Michigan State National Championship.
We're gonna check if that's even possible.
It is. It's possible. If that happens, you know how the state of Michigan Shout out to my hometown. You know,
It is possible.
you know how, man.
I think Michigan is losing to San Diego State. Let's see, what round is that? The round of 32. So the first weekend. I see Michigan losing this weekend to San Diego State. They've been hot lately. Michigan has. But you got to pick the upsets, and that's what I think is going to happen. But you want, and you think it's a good chance that Michigan State can happen?
A very good chance. If Michigan keeps playing at the level they're playing at, and Michigan State, it'll be a very energetic and emotional day in the state of Michigan if that does happen. I want it to happen too, because I mean,
that's gonna be war.
Man, I can't even imagine. Like, that'll really separate the state. You're either Michigan or Michigan State. There's no in between. So
this is my final four: Arizona versus UNC, and Villanova versus Michigan State. I have Arizona versus Villanova in the final, and Villanova winning the championship. I filled out like about 8 brackets, all with different winners. And at the time of filling them out, I was like, yeah, that sounds good. This is my favorite one.
it is.
Yeah. I think Arizona can get really hot. They have a lot of NBA guys on the team. And, you know, Sean Miller, that whole investigation thing that was going on that he says was false. He's got some added motivation to prove everybody wrong. And, you know, just cut down the nets in front of all the NCAA and amidst all the allegations.
Right.
But what I want to happen is Wichita State win the whole thing. Because, you know, 3-1-6 over here, you know. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. That's why I have them losing to Villanova in the Sweet 16. But they are a good team, and they have pretty much the same team as last year, who went toe-to-toe with Kentucky, 3 NBA lottery guys. Bam, Malik Monk, and De'Aaron Fox. So they do have a good chance. They've been shaky lately, losing to Cincinnati and Houston, but it's going to be interesting to see. Now, we go to Oklahoma State. Do you think they got snubbed from the tournament?
Yeah. And I'm going to just leave it at that. I mean, everybody knows what happened. I mean, there are some factors going into this. Number one, Trae Young. I mean, he's a star.
Would you rather turn on the TV and see Oklahoma State playing or Trae Young?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say Trae Young. I'm gonna be honest. You know.
Yeah.
Because Oklahoma State has disappointed me this year. The one game I did go to was Kansas State. Me and you both went. And what happened?
Well, they got throttled after we thought that they would
It was
have a good chance.
It was probably the most poorly executed college basketball game I've ever watched.
They couldn't score a point, honestly. But K-State's a good team.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah. They had the resume to be in the tournament. That's what it is. They had a better resume than OU.
Yeah.
And they finished the season strong. OU was about to die in their last game. I still would like Trae Young to get hot and the rest of the team play like D1 players.
Yeah.
And have them beat Duke in the second round.
Ooh.
If they win that first game against Rhode Island, who's actually a good team.
They are a great team, Rhode Island, yeah.
Yeah. And play Duke. that would be the game to watch in the whole tournament.
I would definitely tune in.
Even if Oklahoma gets blown out, I still want to watch that game more than a lot of potential matchups.
Right.
Who are besides Michigan and Michigan State? Who else would you want to see?
I love Duke. I love Bagley. You know,
they got a lot of guys over there.
Yeah.
Wendell Carter and Trayvon Duval, Grayson Allen, Gary Trent. I
also like Kansas. Even though, you know, we beat them twice. I think they're still a really solid team and can make some noise in the tournament. So Kansas and Duke are some teams I'm looking forward to.
Sleeper, I don't know. I think my biggest sleeper would be San Diego State. I have them going to the Sweet 16. Another one would be Alabama. They got Colin Sexton. He looks, if there's two teams that look like they can create some of the same things that have happened in the past, you know, with Steph Curry and Kemba Walker. Colin Sexton and Trae Young look like they might be able to go on a little Cinderella run with their teams. So those are teams that I would look forward to watching. Miami, they've got a lot of good guys. Kentucky could be interesting. I was watching them play Tennessee this weekend, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander he's really good. He's up there with Colin Sexton and Trae Young in terms of NBA prospect, and they've got a lot of other NBA guys. They should be a lot better, and we've seen it before. Kentucky have a bad regular season and then show up in March Madness. Is that all you? Any other thoughts about this March Madness tournament?
No. I mean, Michigan State, I would love to watch that. You know, even if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But anything can happen in March Madness. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about anything in the NFL? Because it's a lot of news that's happened lately. But
I mean, Malcolm Butler going to Tennessee, I think it was a great move for him personally, due to how, you know, Belichick did him wrong in the Super Bowl. You know, it made me kind of, you know, lose faith in the Patriots organization, lose respect. So, you know, I'm in free agency as of now, you know, looking for a team to, you know, root for other than the Patriots, even though I'm still a Tom Brady fan, you know, forever the GOAT. But it's time for me to move on, you know. I got to get a new debit card, you know, because I got the Patriots on my debit card. I'm going to leave it at that.
So, Kansas City, we're looking nice. Got some young talent. Just signed Sammy Watkins, who... You got some thoughts about that?
I just thought of something.
We traded Marcus Peters. I was really disappointed about that. He was my favorite player ever since Jamal Charles got released last season. But we've got Patrick Mahomes. They did do that. So I'm pretty much I'm good for whatever they do for the next 10 years.
The Browns, they're making moves.
That's your team?
No.
They are making moves, though.
My leading contender is probably the Giants and the 49ers. I'm still, It sounds bad. But Garoppolo is going to be the next big thing.
He is really good. Somebody just signed with the 49ers, too.
Richard Sherman.
That is who.
Yes.
That could be really interesting. I think they can contend next year.
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson got released. by the Packers, which that was really surprising because a guy like him is like, you would think he would spend his whole career there no matter how good he was.
Right.
He was still a good player.
Yeah.
He's not who he was before, but it's kind of like releasing for what? You know?
Right. Picked up Graham. The Packers picked up Graham. That's a great pickup. I think it would have meant more if they would have kept Nelson, though.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about it. It had happened like right before and after each other.
Yeah.
So we didn't get much time to even think about them playing together. The Browns, who did they get? They got Tyrod Taylor. That's who it was.
Yep.
That was the main guy.
And they got Landry.
Jarvis Landry. Yeah.
Landry.
They're going to be interesting next season. Hopefully they can win a couple games.
They're going to win a game, definitely, because I don't... Oh, man. Last year, I really wanted them to win the game because I was getting mad, and I'm not even a fan, so...
Why are the Giants on your list? Because I was picking the Giants all year doing the picks, and they just kept disappointing me.
I mean, I just feel whoever gets Saquon Barkley, really.
That's true, yeah.
Because Browns and Giants all have a great chance of picking them up. I think due to, the Browns getting a quarterback now, since they don't have to draft one, they're definitely going to take Barkley. If they don't, I mean, I don't know.
They have the first and fourth pick, so they can take a quarterback at 4 too,
man,
if they need to. So if they take Barkley and they have Tyrod, Barkley, and Landry as their... And Josh Gordon coming back. Oh my goodness! Cleveland's looking interesting, especially with Pittsburgh was looking kind of shaky there.
Yeah.
The Ravens, no, and the Bengals, no. Hey man, Browns Super Bowl.
Maybe a playoff wild card or something. I don't know about.
Can the Browns win 9 games?
I sure hope so. I mean, we won't. We as humans tend to have an attribute of setting the expectations super high. We haven't even seen him. We don't even know where Saquon is going yet.
We don't even put him on the Browns already.
And we don't even know if Tyrod Taylor is a legit quarterback to fit the Browns system. Remember,
cursed.
Yeah, how many quarterbacks have there been that have been,
He is the best one, though. In terms of past experience going into the Browns, he's the best quarterback that they've had.
Yeah.
I think ever, which is kind of crazy because Tyrod Taylor's not that good. But if they...
I think RG3 is the best one.
RG3 was washed. Completely. And he's my favorite quarterback of the last... Since Peyton Manning, I don't really count him.
Yeah.
Because Peyton Manning was playing for a long time. But RG3, when he was on the Redskins, that was probably my second favorite player. But that's only one season. Tyrod has done this for a couple seasons. Yeah. But the Browns, man, they... Chiefs-Browns AFC Championship?
I have a hot take.
Let's hear
it. This is going to be so hypocritical, but I'm going to say it. The Cowboys might go to the Super Bowl.
No, sir. And that's all that we got today. He said the Cowboys would go to the Super Bowl, and that was probably the craziest thing I ever heard.
Hear me out. Hear me out. They just need help on the secondary. They just need to pick up some pieces to help them because their secondary is trash. I was watching the Thanksgiving game when they played the LA Chargers, and Phillip Rivers was surgical on the field.
You don't like Phillip Rivers.
I don't. I hate Phillip Rivers. But he was making passes. I didn't even know he could throw. It was crazy.
I think, like you were talking about expectations, I think the Cowboys' expectations are so high that they'll never reach them. And the pressure that gets placed on somebody like Dak Prescott, who's been forced to play above his actual talent level because of how good he played in his rookie season. Yeah. I just don't think they'll be able to do it. And I'm biased, so that's just where that opinion comes from.
Kansas City will never make it though, you know. You know what I'm saying? Detroit won't either. I'm not, you know, I hate the Lions.
Mahomes is going to he'll get an MVP sometime. That's gonna do it for Jump Ball this week. We'll try to be back 2 weeks from now.
Yep, you know, I'm gonna be in you know, Stillwater, still, you know, in my room eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch while everybody's in Cancun and Disneyland and stuff.
I think that's just gonna do it.
All right.
You got anything else to say?
You know, look out for my new album. Most likely dropping next month. So Have a Nice Life is that's what it's called. So be on the lookout for that.
And you can follow me on Twitter at IamDreTwice. And on Medium, you can find stuff I write on there. And if you know anybody who works at Yahoo, tell them to stop stealing my things and putting them on their own site. And that's going to do it. Thank you.